Good evening, everybody. I will call the meeting of the Wareham School Committee to order. We are all present, and we are being recorded by WCTV, and by Jamie Wixton is taking furious notes, as well as an audio recording, and we will now rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we go to good news, unfortunately, I have some bad news. Two long-serving members of the Wareham education community, mostly at the Deacon's School when it was functioning, have passed. Beverly Lopes was an educator for over 45 years. I remember Beverly well. I am thankful that her family put such a beautiful picture associated with her obituary, because that's the way I will remember her. And Joseph Santos, who I did not know, but was also a long-serving custodian at the Deacon's School. So I would like a moment of silence for both of these individuals. Okay. Does anybody have any good news they would like to share? Yes, Joyce.
I just want to congratulate the new principal of Wareham Elementary and congratulate Sarah Russo on becoming principal of Wareham Middle School.
Yes, I think, I don't know Sylvester is his last name.
Yeah.
Dan Sylvester. But his resume looks like he's got exactly the kind of experience we will benefit from. It's a huge responsibility, over almost 1,000 kids. But I also wish Bethany great success at her new position.
And Tracy, yeah.
And, well, I was going to get to Tracy,
Oh, sorry.
yes. At her new position with the PASS program, and I guess PASS, and there's other things involved. But I'm sure she'll do a great job there. And Tracy Cote, who has done a remarkable job as principal at the Wareham Middle School, will be moving up into the Director of Curriculum position. And that's happening as of
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, our two new principals start their tenure as principals in Wareham. And that's right, Bethany and
Sarah will have the benefits of Tracy being in the same building.
that's right.
And we'll see how difficult it is for Tracy to let go. But yes, I was fortunate that a parent that I know was on the middle school search committee. I thank both Matt and Dan for getting that individual on the committee. He enjoyed it immensely, thought it was very beneficial, and thought we made a great choice. So I think we've got a good opportunity to keep the momentum going in both schools. So we'll see what happens. But August 1st, yes, big date. Any other good news? Okay, I do have something, but I'll save it for the end of the meeting. I got a call literally just today about something the committee should be aware of. But that can wait until the end. And let's see, public participation. I'm going to go out on a limb and say we will not have any public participation. So moving right along, we will go to the Director of Finance. Kristen, you're on.
Good evening. Tonight I have one final FY25 budget transfer. This is to close out the FY25 budget. In your packet, you'll see the transfer. The transfer is to transfer funds into the collaborative tuition account. This is an account for students who attend out-of-district collaborative placements, such as Cape Cod Collaborative, Southeastern Mass Collaborative, Reed's, various public schools, but they have programs that are tailored for students that we cannot serve in our schools. So at the end of the last year, late May, early June, we received a notification from DESE that Wareham was assigned school district responsibility for an out-of-district student. Student was previously thought to be the responsibility of Fall River, and so what happens is that when there's a question on when districts are responsible, it could be because of a complicated home life situation where students are in between households, a foster care situation. DESE will determine who is responsible to pay and to program for the student. So for us, that notification came in at the end of the fiscal year that we indeed were responsible. So obviously this was a tuition that we hadn't been expecting at that point in time. Fortunately, there were funds in other lines of the budget. Most of them are utility or facility lines, but I'll go through them briefly and then certainly take questions. So I'm looking to transfer funds from district health services, special ed contract services. That is a line item that students who require medical assistance to primarily on transportation if they require a nurse. A lot of the special ed line items are unpredictable by nature, so it's really hard to budget for and to hit the nail on the head with those. The next two are the home instruction line items. If you recall, at one of the last meetings, I requested a transfer into those lines because the home tutoring, the home and hospital tutoring is very unpredictable, and I wanted to make sure we had enough funds in those lines to be able to pay our bills at the end of the year. And we were starting with a new tutoring company, so at that point in time, we were still a few months behind on our invoices from them, so I didn't have a good enough idea of what we would need to close out the year. The rest of the line items are all facilities line items. Well, there's also school committee contracted services, and what that is primarily for the legal expenses for attorneys, for the special education attorneys, and for the general counsel attorneys, and for so they would advise the superintendent and the special ed director, principals perhaps, school committee certainly, on various issues that come up, and also assist with negotiations. So there was a small amount of funds left in that line item that can be used for the collaborative tuitions. The rest of them, as I said, are facilities line items, mostly heating, some building maintenance contract services. You'll see that for Wareham Elementary School. We had planned to be doing some modifications for a preschool at the high school, and we unfortunately were not able to complete those modifications at the end of the school year, so that's why those funds remained in that account. So again, I'm just looking to transfer funds to clear the deficit that has arisen because of that unexpected assignment, and this will help in assisting me to finally close FY25, and I'll be reporting back to you at an upcoming meeting once we have all the entries and I can have a good summary of where we're at.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Questions for Kristen?
I just wanted to know what the school committee contracted services is for.
Mm-hmm. So that is for that primarily, it's for legal services for the school committee and for the superintendent anytime we have to pay an attorney to advise us for things such as negotiations, for some of these like determinations for special education services, just a variety of issues that we need legal counsel for or legal representation for. So every year in the budget, an amount, 130,000 is budgeted for it, and some years, that amount isn't spent. This past year, we were in negotiations, so that, that's additional use of the attorneys while we negotiate. In years that we're not negotiating, sometimes you might see it less, or it really depends what issues are facing the school committee and the school department as a whole during the course of the year.
How about who negotiates the fees that you were paying?
Mm-hmm. So I think we have a contract which came in before I started here, And with, at the time, I believe, proposals were requested from law firms for legal representation, and, considering the services and the cost is what was in the proposals. And I don't know about here, I haven't seen it, but in another district, there would be sometimes a small hourly increase for the fee increase.
Thank you.
We have the right to change firms as we see fit. We also get services, HR services from the town, and we pay for that through,
School choice.
yes, but I forget the exact amount that we pay on an annual.
40,000.
Excuse me?
40,000.
40,000, thank you. And that gives us a right. And the person in charge of HR for the town also happens to be an attorney, so that helps. So, but there's a variety of things. Special education can occasionally be litigious. Knock on wood, lately it has not been particularly litigious, but those are the kinds of things that we need.
Thank you.
Anything else for Kristen?
Motion to accept.
I have a motion to accept. A second?
Second.
Second? Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Nay?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
4-1-0. Okay. Let's see. Report of the superintendent. We have a ton of bills and payroll warrants that you can see. They've all been sent to you, and I have reviewed them before signing them. So I will take a motion, hopefully en masse, but if you want to go over any of them individually, I'll be happy to take them that way,
So moved, as a whole.
as a whole. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay. 4-0-1. Report of this,
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I do have a gift
sorry,
that I'd like to ask the school committee to accept, if I may.
sure.
Smithers Lab here in Wareham has donated $1,000 for transportation for our care and sale after-school and summer programs.
Nice.
Is this a brand-new donation, or has this been done before?
I think we've received it.
I know they started a scholarship at the high school, but this is the first time I've seen this from Smithers. Jamie, do you remember any other, we've had this exact donation? Okay, so,
Well, their continued generosity is greatly appreciated.
Motion to accept and.
I have a motion to accept. Second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0-0. Anything else?
thank you, that's all I have.
Okay. Report of the school committee. I think, would you like to give us an update, dates, whatever, on the search?
Well, there's really no updates other than our next scheduled meeting in August 21st is Sean Costello from Mask will join us and go over what the next steps are in the process. I think what he's going to tell us is that we'll have to create our community profile, which we've done before, which is a brochure that goes out explaining the Wareham school
Does he
system.
give us a template?
I think he will.
Okay.
They have in the past, and we'll probably utilize a lot of the one we've done previously. And then he'll start to talk about the makeup of the committee, the search committee, who he might suggest, and from his experience, would be worthwhile to put on the search committee. And then we're going to start rolling in the fall. He did ask me to convey to you and the superintendent that if you wanted him to discuss any other issues on that night, he's more than willing to do that in a workshop type situation for us.
I noticed that, and I thought it was a very generous offer. The only thing that came up to me, and I guess maybe I read too much in the state and national news, is are there any school systems that are doing creative things to keep students in the districts? I mean, it's a tough problem for most districts.
Right.
and the federal government is not making it any easier. The latest thing was this $1,700 credit that you can use to reduce the cost of going to private school, which is, candidly, I just think it's a gift to the wealthy, because no one's going to be able to send their kid to private school for $1,700. So it's just going to cost someone who was going to do it anyway $1,700 less. But if anybody has any suggestions, that
So,
yes.
Division 7 MASC, as you know, I'm on the leadership for that. So there is discussion where we have a couple things in the pipeline for workshops to talk with other districts and towns, that it's not just a Wareham or Cape and Island specific problem. But a lot of the rural district and other areas, a lot of it has to do with housing and shortages of housing. So families are having to move in with other family members. So enrollments are going down in a lot of places because people are they're really struggling with housing. So at some point there is discussion. We'll have a roundtable put on with Sean and the leaders of MASC to kind of figure out and talk to other people in other parts of municipalities that it's also affecting. It's not just affecting schools in local towns, it's affecting a lot of other areas, like with, taxes, people not, being in homes and vacancies and things like that, and homelessness, and there's a whole host of other issues that surround it. So there will be, I want to say, possibly in the fall, early winter, there'll be a roundtable. They wanted to wait until after enrollment for this year before we put together the roundtable. But that's one of the things that has been being discussed, and it's not just a Wareham-specific issue.
Yeah, yes. A lot of the things that we struggle with, others are struggling with as well. Anything else that we might want to take advantage of Sean's presence?
We do have also MASC, Division 7 is putting on a roundtable for people who have taken charting the course. So Roger, it might be something helpful for you if you haven't taken charting the course yet. It is an MASC requirement, kind of just to understand what we do, but there will be a follow-up, so almost like a refresher for people on school committees of what we can and can't do and applying it in real time. So that'll be on August 25th. It's a virtual, again, with MASC and Division 7.
I mean, that's something he could do too. I don't know if we need a primer again or not, but maybe you want to reach out to him and talk to him one way or another, and just let him know.
Pat Francomano, I think that's how I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He's the legal counsel for MASC. I've known Pat for forever. He took over for someone who had been there for decades. He has talked about and given us guidance as to how we handle ice showing up in the district. I assume that's just simply not happened. Is that a fair statement? Has not happened. In your conversations with other superintendents, has the South Coast been hit? New Bedford, maybe?
New Bedford has. I have teacher friends in New Bedford that have mentioned in even some of their summer programs.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is, I think we're prepared for it, but it's going to be uncomfortable no matter how prepared you are. Okay, anything else that you're not starting your obviously you're not starting policy review yet?
Until November, Jamie? October, just kidding.
Okay, and have you had a Cape Cod Collaborative meeting yet? They haven't notified you?
No,
Okay, but do sign up for,
they would do it on the,
it would be a Zoom.
on this website though? I mean, on this,
They'll email him
through this email?
Yes, and they know that Roger is their representative?
Provided.
Okay, good, so you'll get it.
Okay.
And I would be shocked if you had one in July anyway, so,
Yeah, I don't think they usually meet in the
no,
summer.
I don't think they do either. Okay, fine. The only other thing I wanted to bring up under other business is I got a call from the chair of the Board of Selectmen today, just as a heads up, that they have renegotiated their contract with WCTV. I don't see any reason why Noah can't hear this. But the important reason for it is because WCTV has had financial troubles over the last several years. They have committed themselves to doing things that they didn't have the resources to do. They believe they are in good shape now from a governing perspective. I'm not throwing cold water or throwing anybody under the bus with these comments. It's just a matter of fact. And just so everybody knows, they get all their money from Verizon and Comcast. So I don't know anything about whether the amount of money they've been getting has been reduced or whatever. But the bottom line is they were forced to renegotiate with the town with whom they have this agreement. The downside associated with this is that with the exception of school committee meetings and graduations and awards nights, they're not going to be providing us any service, specifically for things like football and basketball games. I actually had a tennis match covered once or twice, but it's really hard to cover a tennis match. I mentioned this to Matt and to Jamie because they have connections, and I thought it would be a good idea to meet with them to see if there was any way we could, and I have no idea what this would cost us, pay for coverage of these events. As I said, I have no idea whether they have the capacity, whether they'd be interested in adding capacity if they didn't to cover it. But I think it would be something that we have a responsibility to investigate. I did get an email from Judith Whiteside, who is the chair, saying that we need to be a little careful, that if they did provide this service, it might violate to us for a fee. It might violate the contract they have with the town. So I've known Rich Bowen forever. I'm going to call Rich Bowen and say, tell me about this contract and what's your opinion, at least unofficially, as to whether it would be a problem if we decided to do it. Now, whether we could afford to do it is another issue, and of course, whether they want to add the capacity to provide the service. So there are lots of issues, but the bottom line is, thanks to Jamie, we actually have a meeting set up on Tuesday morning to talk about it. So I will be able to report back and see if we can arrange for some coverage of what people I think are used to seeing on WCTV. Did I generate any questions?
I really hope that they are able to make it happen, because I know watching the sport, like the basketball games and the football games, having the families with their, be able to watch, that a lot of Wareham families don't have vehicle
Absolutely.
access. And I think that's a huge part of staying in touch with the community and putting the things out there so that the community can see all the great things that Wareham students are doing. So I hope that we can make something like that happen.
And let's face it, our basketball team is always worth watching.
All of our teams are always worth watching, Jeff. All of them.
Well, we're not always as competitive as we would like to be.
It's not about competition.
I know,
it's about our children.
It's about seeing your child, competing.
I would watch my kid bench warm all day.
And I'm a firm believer in giving opportunities to kids because the benefits are huge, whether you win or lose. I agree with you completely. By the way, also, Jamie said there's some possibility that the audiovisual department at the high school may actually be able to help us with this problem. And we're going to investigate that as well, but we'd still need WCTV to take the tape and to put it on so that people could watch it. But April, you're 100% correct. Let's face it, a lot of those fans have people on the field that they're watching. And that's really important, especially if you have trouble getting out of the house. Okay, any other business before the committee? All good?
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any dissent? We are adjourned. Thank you.